Hi, Rigsters Journey here, and we're back with part 2 of my journey on covering the Lowe heavy tank. In this episode, I'm going to try to do it without credit boosters and see how much money we can make. And I'll play a couple of battles. There was one thing I noticed that's particularly precarious. When I look back at the ammunition costs, it costs 1,030 credits for armor piercing. So that might be part of the reason why I'm not expecting as much profit as I thought it was reputed to earn, but I'm going to give it a shot and see how much money it can make. So I'll get into a match and see how it does. Alright, so first match here, we got all even tier 8s. And I'm going to try to play this tank more in the back this time, just to see if I can be more effective. And this tank is just so massive, it's very easy to detect, so I think that might be part of the reason why I'm not averaging 1,000 damage points, because you can see this tank coming pretty quickly, even with this camo I put on it from the previous episode. So I'm going to drive around to like C3 and take a look, and try to maneuver my tank in a tactical advantage. See how good the gun depression is. That's how low the barrel can point down. That's average. It's not great, but it's not terrible either. Most German tanks have average gun depression, so you can take advantage of your hull down. Ooh, and that was a good shot on the W. Oh, I almost thought it was WC because it looks so similar. Oh, that's a Poland tank. So I'm going to back up a little more so he doesn't have a shot at my lower plate, because I noticed as I was watching the first part replay as well that the tank doesn't seem to do very well in close quarters. This is definitely not a close quarters heavy. This one requires you to think, because it's pretty fragile. It's more fragile than I thought it would have. But it is what it is, you know? They can't have everything in the tank. It will occasionally bounce shots, though. I think I might be able to get the geometry working better this time, because I'm starting to get a little more familiar each battle I do with this rental. So hopefully this will be a better match than the last one I did. Okay, let's see here. Another good shot into him. I think that's the Poland Heavy. So that's a unusual name and identifier. Could be wrong about that. That could actually be the Russian Heavy. 703-2. Oh, I think that's actually a Russian tank. Almost got him. So close. No artillery to worry about, so I don't have to maneuver quite as often. Still don't want to sit too often in the open like this, but there's not many snipers running around right now. Taking a look on the map here, around K7 they're not going to be able to hold that, but we have to hold this flank too, so I can't really relocate this tank very easily because it's just so easy to spot. So I just have to play the waiting game, just maneuver my turret around. In this game, when you maneuver just the turret and don't tap the arrow keys to maneuver your tank, you have maximum concealment till you fire or move your hull. Moving your hull breaks camo. And right now, I don't want to break my camo if I can help it. That's how the camouflage system works in this game. I used to think moving your turret would break camo too, but it doesn't. And that was when I first played the game years ago. Once I learned that trick, that really helped playing tanks like this, where they rely more on distance for survival. Ooh, I almost was gonna fire a shot on him, but I didn't want to waste a shell. Because apparently the shells on this tank are extremely expensive, but they're also very potent. You're like 1,000 credits a shot is very expensive for a premium tank, especially. It's 2-4. I don't know what to do, because on one hand I want to push in and help, But on the other hand, I know there's light tanks and tank destroyers running around. I'm gonna see if I can get some shots on these tanks over here. Because AP can go through soft cover. Took a shot at the WZ and broke camo. Alright, I'm gonna move up. Especially since I saw the SU-130 flanking on the side there. I don't want to get him to take pot shots at me. Just gotta watch that Scorpion too. Those Scorpions are my kind of nemesis in this game. They're a premium tank destroyer. You buy with real money. They're extremely potent. Yep, just like that. Just like I predicted. It took a shot at me while I'm trying to maneuver. So I'm detected. Very obvious. I'm gonna fire a shot into him. Got a good tracking. So I'm gonna take a run away from the 112. Maneuver. Oh no. It's like, took like some heavy damage from the side here. Whoa, how did I deflect that? I didn't expect that to bounce. I have to take a look at the replay there. I have no idea how he bounced that shot because 1112 has more than enough pen to hit my side armor, which is thinner. That's perplexing. What shot did he fire? AP by holding down the left alt key to give me more details about the type of shot. I guess maybe I just got lucky and he hit the thickest part of the slope. Now that shot I did expect to bounce because he hit the thickest part of the turret, which is the gun mantlet, which is right here of that hole. That's how I can tell where these shells are hitting me. When they bounce, they'll get scratches on them, and that's how you can clue you into like, oh, well that angle works at that certain shot for this tank. You need to build like a library of memory after a while. When you play the game long enough, you'll start recognizing patterns like that. It takes practice though, and every shell is different. So some tanks will bounce and some won't. Oh, now that one hurt. He's firing gold rounds, so when it has a gold-plated color like that, that means you're firing their premium ammunition. So this guy is spending a lot of money to kill me. Before I do that, did 1,000, almost 2,000 damage this time, so I might still come away with a decent profit. Alright, and we're back. So that match, like I predicted, we lost because we only had 3 tanks left. So logging in, they give you some extra premium consumables. That's pretty cool. And sometimes World of Tanks will do that for certain events as well. They've done that kind of stuff in the past, but not as for just logging in, but doing like very easy missions on tier 5 and up tanks. So let's see real quick on the details to see how much money I actually came away with on net. So there was a mission I completed, so we have to subtract 20,000. So 40, 30, so 32,839 credits is what I made without the mission being put in there. And as you can see, your repair cost isn't necessarily bad, but the shell cost, that's what kills your profit in this tank. The shells are just very expensive. You have to be very precise with this gun. So I'll go into another match and I'll see you then. So, oh my, Malnovica. This is not a good map for tanks that have poor camo. However, I can take advantage of my gun's accuracy at range. This is not a map I traditionally do very well on because it is so static. Oh boy. I'm gonna head towards B4 and support the hill. It's like the only place I realistically can go in this thing. Better do it quickly too, because sometimes you have fast movers like this, like 6x6 on our team. He's going really fast. Oh, look at this. I'll quickly turn my hull and take a shot at this GSR. That's a British scout tank. That tank was not in the game when I first played. That's a very new line. Even 90, that's a French light tank. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here too much longer. Thought I could get some shots in already, but it's too far away and it's too small. I'm trying to see if I can make a good amount of credits this time. That last match I did was my damage record for this tank, 1,900. So let's see if we can get 1,000 damage for this match as our goal. I'm starting to get more familiar with how this tank plays as I do each match. It definitely cannot be a frontline assault unless we have support, and support usually goes ebbs and flows depending on the tier and how players are doing. So it's definitely more of like a team-based tank. You can't really lead charges very well. It's just the way this tank plays. I'm not trying to be selfish and not help. It's just you literally can't. You get spotted and everyone fires on you first. That's the most frustrating part about playing this tank. But the gun, oh man, when you get the gun to get in position, that's the best part about this tank. That accuracy and range is definitely worth the frustrations of trying to get into position. So let's see if I can hit this T-44-100. Oh, didn't let the circle close in enough. That was the fault of the player, not the gun. And sometimes you'll still miss, even when the reticule is a little bit tighter, because there's a little bit of RNG in this game. I think the official RNG is about 10 or 15%. I'm not sure if they reduced it from 20% chance. Like, usually the values average between that way, so that way you don't have players magically connecting every single shot in the game, because that would get old pretty quick. It really would. The game would not be fun. So, let's see the CS-53. That's a tank I haven't seen before, or if I have, I don't know what it is. Take a look real quick. That is a tier 8. I'm not sure if that's credit or premium. There's some tanks I've seen in this game now that I have no clue what they're like at all. I can never play them, and I rarely encounter them. It's pretty cool though that I steal a tank now that I've never seen before. And sometimes making those discoveries can be pretty interesting as well. I mean, I know I'm getting close to the front lines, I just gotta help them out though, because if I don't help them hold this hill, they're gonna fall apart very quickly. Plus, it'd be pretty boring if I don't do anything to help them. So let's take a look here. That's an autoloader tank? Oh. Yep, it is. That's the Swedish autoloader. Oh boy. Oh no. He's firing gold rounds. Yep, this was not the smart move. I tried to help the 703, but there's nothing I can do. Artillery's gonna have a field day on me. I might not even get damaged this match. This guy is wiggling around and stuff. Oh wow. He just totally shredded him. Jeez. But I got him. Which is good. At least I took him off the field. Alright. So, that took quite a while. That map also has the longest matches in the game on average. Because I didn't hardly do anything, I only earned 3,200 credits. Oh my. So let's go for one more match. Let's see if I can do one more and try to earn some more money. So I'll see you then. Alright, and we're back. So this is definitely going to be a better map for this tank. Happy I had some pretty decent matches in general gameplay over the years, so I think this could be a much better result. So let's try going to G2. I'm going to take the hill approach and snipe from like H2 to start off with, and try to maneuver my tank there to get a tactical advantage. Because even though it's not a good camo tank, I think if I use the long distance ability of this gun, I think I'll be able to finally contribute something more than just dying to tank destroyers. Tank destroyers are pretty much a menace for the Lowe, more than I anticipated. And there's the friendly E75, that's a credit tank, and in front of me is a super Pershing. Both of those tanks respectively are pretty good. The E75 is a tier 9 German heavy, kind of similar playstyle to this, but probably better armor. Oh my. apparently I guessed wrong. The enemy team decided to go the other way instead. I do not know why. That's where the fast movers are. So at least I don't have to be worried about being flanked to death. So I'm going to push up and support the CS-53 and Super Pershing, the T-26E4. Super Pershing in this game is actually pretty good. I might do a video on that sometime in the future. That is a premium I do own and I very much make good money in because the shell cost is half or like 60% less, I believe, if I remember correctly, for standard rounds. So let's take a shot into him on the object 252U, and it bounced because he's hull scraping, which is a smart move by him. But I can take out his tracks. Oh, didn't want to block him. Oh shoot! But didn't real. I'm trying to get him to be able to back up, but he keeps getting in the way. It's like, let the heavies come in first, bro. Oh, I just missed the FV. That's a British premium medium tank. I'm going to be seeing a lot more of those too, because everybody gets access to those for 40-some matches. That's a good premium. I actually used to own that tank. I sold it for a certain line I wanted to try though. That was about a year ago. I got that for doing a grind mission in the game. It was for finishing the tier 10 line before they replaced it with a different tank. That's how I got that one. The shell cost on that is too high though for my taste, because it uses the 84 pounder or 84 millimeter gun, which is notorious for low damage, alpha wise, and very high shell cost. Good penetration though. This tank is very hard to counter, this object 252U. I'm going to switch to HE. This is getting ridiculous, so I'm going to do that. The E75 wants to take a look in there. You can. Alright. Our team fell apart. Again. I might have to do another match, because this is definitely one of those matches where you think it's going to go well, and then it just goes, nope. Oh, and I got killed by an AE Phase 1. That's an Italian medium. Alright, well, and we're back. So let's see how much credits you made on round 3. 13,235. So that's definitely better than the previous match. That's 10,000 more. But not great either. So let me do one final match this time, I promise. I won't do another match after this one. So I'll see you on the battlefield. Alright, so let's see on this map here. This is El Halouf. This map has been changed 3 times since I played this game. This is one of the older maps in the game. This is the current iteration of it. There used to be a lot more open space on the D2 area right here. This is the area that was changed 3 times. They first had it like really open, and that was pretty disastrous. Then they tried quartering off, I believe, the area down here. Like they started trimming that down, and now it's at its present, you can't go down there anymore. That used to be a pain to deal with. So I'm going to head towards E1, C1 area, and see how it does there. Based on my current experiences with the Lowe, I don't expect to be able to brawl, but I cannot be in the open. There's just not much choice I have for this match. There are some tier 9s, but all these tanks in the lineup that I see based on those symbols look to be a pretty decent fight. Thank goodness there's no artillery though. Artillery is a bane for this tank. It drives me nuts when I get constantly slapped by artillery. Even sometimes in cover, it's just so big you can pretty much not miss it. Yeah, this is probably why I generally don't play tanks like these. However, I will say, if you do it for just like the accurate gun, and you don't mind being vulnerable to tank destroyers and stuff, this tank can work. It can still contribute to the team, but you have to do a lot of different maneuverings that you normally wouldn't do in other heavies. Or at least in the traditional heavy role. You have to kind of play like a hybrid tank destroyer heavy, is what I would classify it as. And what I mean by tank destroyer heavy is you try to play at range. You can occasionally tank shells for the team, but with the advent of gold rounds being flung everywhere, it's kind of more of a challenge. It's kind of like playing hard mode, whereas there's certain lines that are much easier to play. And just like that, I spotted half the enemy team. Good grief. Yeah, I was going to see what was down that corridor, but I didn't back up in time, so I took 2 hits that were pretty nasty. I'm surprised the Jagdtiger reached for gold rounds for me, because normal pen would have done just fine. The VK705, that's a tier 9. Or no, tier 8. Oh, I was thinking of a different German heavy. There's a lot of different German heavies in this game too. I think, if I remember correctly, there's 3 branches for them. It's an insane amount of tanks. They're all have their pluses and minuses. I don't know why the T-28 Proto is here, but I'll see what I can do. I'll move up a little more and see what I can do, because I don't want them to get an advantage on the side here and have them do flanking shots. Oh, I didn't mean to block them. I was just trying to... Well, you don't have to shoot me. I wasn't trying to block you, man. Jeez. You'll get players that do that too, or just one minor tap while you're trying to move in a tank that's massive. And they're like, you blanked me. Thank goodness they don't do damage anymore, because that really would have sucked. Interesting. That bounced. Normally that would have been a penetration for this round. The man went on the Jagdtiger's pretty good. Oh, yeah, I better back up. Oh god. Yeah, I'm surrounded. This is going to be a pretty short fight. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. Object 7 is trying to kill me. Yeah. Well, that goes to show I am not very good in the low, I don't know. I just don't know what else I can do in this tank. This tank has such a great reputation for earning credits, but not as well as it used to be. I mean, I haven't seen a low in a while too. This might be why they're more rare nowadays than they used to be. The low used to be a very popular tank back in the day when they used to be new, years ago. That's probably why you don't see them very often anymore. They're just so hard to play. So I'll go back to garage and do some cocooning thoughts. Alright, so my concluding thoughts for the low. Let's see how much money we made. So net wise, without any boosters, which you can earn through playing tier 5 to 10 tanks over time, you sometimes get access to boosters, and because one of the tanks is celebrating their anniversary, you get some more bonuses and goodies, which I'll probably show in a future episode of some of the missions you can do. He earned 108,069 gross, but shell costs, and me being a derp, actually only earned, so in 4 battles, I actually earned a net of 122,135 credits, but I only took home 72,363 with no boosters, no premium account, no credit boosters. So let's see here what the breakdown is here. I earned an extra booster for doing a mission reward. The tank costed 30,202 credits, and the auto resupply ammunition, actually it's more expensive to repair the tank than resupply the ammo, it seems, because I didn't fire a lot of rounds, but I'm sure that would be higher than the auto repair over time. 72,363 credits is what I took home. So the Lowe can make money, but it is very hard to play, especially if you're not used to soft skin heavies that get spotted from the moon, as I call it, because you can literally see this tank coming almost anywhere, even with this camo I slapped on the tank. So I would recommend it only if you're going to be doing German heavy tanks and if you have access for this tank for free, give it a shot. I wouldn't say you shouldn't play this tank, but be prepared, like, as you've seen in these battles, tank destroyers and light tanks will find you very quickly. It's just not an easy mode heavy. This is not a beginner friendly tank in that aspect. But if you roll around with a 100% crew that they give you for the rental, you can make some really good shots past 300 meters consistently. The shell velocity is really good, and the dispersion is pretty top class. 0.32 dispersion is on the high end of gun accuracy in this game. So that means for more consistency landing inside the circle. That's what that means. So I also cover Forza Horizons and JLOP as well. I'm really excited for this channel. I've been doing quite a lot of different videos. I might even cover some other games as well, and I hope you learned something and enjoyed the gameplay. This is Rigsters Journey, signing off.